What's going on, Golf World? It's Pete Berger, aka the Tattooed Golf Guy, and this is a little bit delayed. I know it's late in the year, made a lot of changes. I'm going to go over them today, but this is my 2024 What's in the Bag. Before we get to what's actually in the bag, why don't we get to the bag itself? I have a Sun Mountain cart bag. Ended up going with the red, white, and blue, or, well, gray. I absolutely love this bag, and again, I'm going to prelude this entire video by telling you guys that I don't have a single sponsor. There's no sponsors yet. I'm very new at this. I'm learning as I go, and if something happens along the way, beautiful. But for right now, this is all me. This is all the things that I've learned that I love. Now, for what's actually in the bag. You start off up top here with the Go rangefinder. I love this thing. Fits in the hand nicely. I like the material. I feel like I always have a awesome grip on it. Super clear lens. Reads everything super accurately. I pair it with my GPS app. I use the Swing U app, the Pro version, and the yardages are both pretty on point. If I'm ever trying to go after a flag or I want to see where a dog leg starts, pull out the Go rangefinder. Going to the side pocket here, I have my Rapsodo MLM2 Pro, along with my wife's old iPad. So I like to use my phone for recording and the iPad for my data. Pocket right here for my tees. Got a whole bunch of them in there, all different kinds. I need to dial in a tee. Haven't really found one that I'm super obsessed with yet. I play the TaylorMade TP5X picks. I also like to draw a line around the whole ball. The orange interior here, that gives me a really good idea on if my putt is a pure roll. And then with the putter, which I will get into next, the alignment line on the center of the putter goes perfectly in line at any point in the ball. I love knowing if I hit the ball in the center of the face or if it's wobbling. I know that. I always know if my strike was good based off of the feedback that the ball provides. So TP5X, I love the distance, and I always found that the TP5 itself was a little bit too spinny for me. So a little bit less spin out of this, and the feedback is great. Let's get into what you guys actually probably care about. Starting off with the putter. Now, before I show you guys this, I want you to know that this is not in here because of brand loyalty per se. I actually came over from a Scotty Cameron Super Slug Newport 2, and I'm going to honestly say I think it's the most overrated putter on the market. I got it without honestly hitting it first, and just because, it's the best putter, right? So you got to buy the best. But I found it super not forgiving until I hit one of these. The Spider Tour X. This pure roll insert I prefer much more over a milled face. I love the nice soft feel off the putter. I feel like the pure roll is not just a gimmick, it actually does that. The alignment line at the top, line it up with that ball that I was showing you guys with a line on the ball. And I feel like I find the middle of the face far more consistently with this. And this grip here, the Super Stroke Spider grip, the pistol, it is worth every bit of the hype that it gets. I have a nice, what I like to call a unique grip here. And I just feel like I have absolutely so much control. The absolute pendulum, low-weighted feel on this putter. This thing is going to be staying in the bag for a long time. And I know some of you guys, big-time wedge guys, you like to have 3, 4. I've seen guys have 5 wedges in a bag. I have 2. Well, 3 if you count the pitching wedge. But I play a 50-degree MG4 and a 54-degree, which is bent to 55. I do that for gapping. The 54 degree has 11 degrees of bounce. I use it more out of sand, out of thick rough. It's my go-to chipping club. My 50 degree is one of the most versatile clubs in my bag, 9 degrees of bounce. And this thing gets me out of trouble a whole hell of a lot. These things spin like crazy. They feel absolutely amazing. I have the Dynamic Gold, the True Temper Dynamic Gold tour issue, the 115s, and just the stock TaylorMade grip here. One of the most underrated grips, actually. Everybody is always like, "Oh, you stock this, stock that." These grips are amazing. Okay, so just the two wedges at the bottom of the bag here. I am currently playing the TaylorMade. Just pull out the 7-iron here. TaylorMade P790s, but they have been bent to the P770 lofts. I have a very forward-leaning shaft at impact, and I was having an issue where my launches were coming out way too low. I was losing distance, I was losing spin, and I thought I dialed in. I was like, is it the ball? Is it the swing? I was trying swing changes, this and that, and went in, and somebody said, why don't we try a higher loft? Tried a higher loft. The launches were perfect. The spin rates were ideal, and I love now that I have the launch rates of the P770s with the forgiveness of the P790s. The only thing that is not bent 2 degrees weak is the pitching wedge, which I just bent 1 degree to match up with the 50 and 55 degree wedges that I have. That runs 4 through pitching wedge. All right, on to the top end of the bag, and this is where, for me, it gets fun. I got very creative with this, and this honestly is why it took so long to make this video, because of the top of the bag here. We got creative. So I am currently playing both 3 and 5 woods. I am still in the Stealth 2 Plus. These things hit like bombs. I'm also a firm believer. You hear it a lot that once you find a wood that you hit well, you kind of stick with it until the wheels fall off, right? So that's what I believe I'm doing here. Where I got creative though is I've dialed the 3 wood down to what would be a 4 wood, and I've dialed the 5 wood down to what would be a 6 wood. We have the adjustable sleeve here, and this is 2 notches down, almost at the highest loft possible for each, as well as the adjustable weight in the back has been slid all the way back for the highest possible launch. These things are doing very, very good now at holding greens. Nice high launch, but it's perfect now for my gapping. The 4 and 5, the 4 and 6 wood axe-like is perfect for my gapping because of the club that I'm introducing next. All right, this next club, I'm sure a lot of you guys think is a gimmick, and I did too, until I hit it. I have the 2024 TaylorMade Burner Mini Driver. Now this thing, people are like, oh, did you replace your driver with the mini driver because you can't hit driver? No. Oh, did you take out your 3 wood and put in the mini driver and treat it as a 3 wood? Also no. That's what most people do. They either replace their driver, which I don't think anybody should do that for anybody's game, and for some people's game, replacing a 3 wood with this makes a lot of sense. This to me is essentially a 2 wood. Okay? Now, with my driver, I play more of a fade. This thing has a very major draw bias for me, so if I ever have a dogleg left, mini driver. The dispersion on this is significantly smaller than that of my driver. So tight tee shot, mini driver. Good lie in the fairway, got 280 out to the pin, but I have a line in on a par 5, mini driver. This thing sees far more action on course than I even anticipated when I put it in the bag. So what I did is I took out my lob wedge. I do also have a 58-degree lob wedge that's been bent to 59, but I was finding myself in a spot where that was getting me into more trouble than it was benefiting me. Um, so I took it out of the bag. I'm very confident in my wedge play that if I needed to open up my 55 and play a higher, softer landing shot, I can do that. But I found far more benefit in the top end of my bag with this. So now if I'm standing over a tight tee shot with my driver in my hand, I don't have like the borderline meat sweats. I know that the dispersion on this is going to be much smaller, and I can swing with a lot more confidence. Um, if I have a dog leg left, I don't have to sit there and think about turning the face over too much to get that big draw with my driver. That's something I have to very consciously think about with my swing. With the mini driver, it just kind of happens for me. It just has that bias. Uh, I have there's also two weights in the back here. There's a lightweight and a heavyweight. It comes stock with the heavy in the back and the light in the front. It's a little bit more forgiving, a little bit less spin. Uh, I put the heavier weight in the front here, and that turns this thing into an absolute rocket ship. If I hit this thing cleanly in the middle of the face with the current settings I have it on now, I can carry this thing 280. Off, off the tee, off the deck, it's probably going about 260, 265. This club, the versatility, the cleanness, the look, the feel, the functionality of this club is next level. I've gone more into detail on this than any other club in the bag. I think that you guys can tell it's my favorite club. Also, for those of you who live under a rock and don't watch any Rick Shields videos, if you ever get one of these, don't forget to do the party trick. On to the last club in the bag. I'm sure you all can guess what it is by this point in the video. We are in the standard TaylorMade QI10. This thing has been cut 1 inch short, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I had a little bit of an ego hit when that happened. I was like, I should be able to hit the full length drive or find the middle of the face. Cut it down if you need to cut it down. If you're below 6 foot, cut your driver an inch. This thing, I am finding the middle of the face significantly more often and swinging with confidence. I am no longer afraid of those heel strikes. I am no longer afraid of the duffs. I'm not overthinking the driver swing anymore. I cut it down an inch, and that changed my life. I swing this thing with complete confidence now, a nice little butter cut, and I'm hitting it a lot farther than I did when I had the extra inch on there. If anything, because of the confidence, my swing speed has gone up a little bit. I'm comfortably hitting about 115 club head speed right now, and I can, if I really step on one, I can see about 120. So I do have the Damana Extra Stiff 60 in here, along with a Golf Pride Z grip. But this thing has transformed when I put the ego aside and I cut the inch down. Do the same if you need to. Ultimately, guys, I know it's an all TaylorMade bag, all one company. The next thing probably wasn't a shock after the next, but what I really take pride in is knowing that I made my own personal adjustments. I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, but the irons are cut a ½ inch short as well, finding the middle of the face a lot more with that. And they've been turned down 2 degrees each, with the pitching wedge being turned down 1 degree. Much better launch. Top end of the bag, super adjusted, super customized. 3 wood to a 4 wood, 5 wood to a 6 wood, adding the essential 2 wood in the mini driver. Get creative with your clubs, guys. It is so much fun to dial it in and figure it out for your own personal game. I've had a lot of fun building this bag. This was a complete thrill to me. I become a huge gear nerd. Spent a lot of money on this, so I'm going to put a lot of time and effort into actually dialing it in and making the game of golf as fun as I possibly can. Let me know what you guys have in your bags. I love gear. I love talking about gear. Shoot me comments, messages. Let's talk about gear. Talk to you guys.